All right, this is pre-algebra lesson 3.4, using formulas. Okay, so here's the deal. Formulas are your friend. Okay, you ever seen Finding Nemo? You know, when fish are. What does the big shark say? You ever seen Finding Nemo? Yeah. Right. What does the big shark say? Wasn't it Bruce? Right. Yeah. What does Bruce say? Fish are friends. Right. Fish are friends. That's the big thing. Because sharks are supposed to eat fish, and so you've seen the movie. It's good. Finding Dory's coming out here pretty quick. That'll be good. I'm excited about it. Anyway, formulas are your friend. Here's the deal. What formulas do is they pretty much give you the answer. Formulas somebody's done all this work for you so that you don't have to do hardly anything. All you're going to do is use the formula to find the answer. What I mean by that is this. Listen. Let's do a real simple one. The common one is the distance formula. And the distance formula is distance equals rate times time. D equals RT. That is distance equals rate times time. Okay. Here's the deal. This is something that somebody already did the work for you. They figured out that distance equals rate times time. If you were to try and figure that out, you need like an engineer degree, and to figure out all these rules. But they've done it for you. They've given you that formula. Okay? So, if they give you a story problem, and you can and they tell you what two of these three things are, then you can figure out the other one just by using the formula. Here's the example. It says, suppose you travel 162 miles in 3 hours. You travel 162 miles in 3 hours. Here's the deal. Here's our information. Here's our formula. Let's use our information to plug it into the formula, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. 162 miles. What is that? Is that a distance? Is that a rate? In other words, like how fast they're going, or is that time? What is 162 miles? Colin? That's a distance. So we're going to go 100. Instead of putting the D, instead of writing D equals RT, we're going to write down D equals RT, except we're going to plug in the numbers that go in for those variables. So instead of D, I'm going to put 162 miles equals the rate. Rate means how fast they're going. Does any of these tell you how fast they're going? No. So then the R stays put, and then the time is 3 hours. Rate times 3 hours. Okay, you don't even really need to put the miles and hours right now, but you can. Here's the deal. Watch what I do. Watch what I do here. Line down the equal sign. What is the variable we're looking for now? The R, the rate. How fast they're going. In fact, if you read the question, it says, use the formula, D equals RT, to find your average speed. In other words, how fast you're going. Okay. Solving for R. Is the R happy? No. Why is the R not happy?
He's not by himself.
He's not by himself. Who's with him? The 3 hours. What's the 3 hours doing to him? Multiplying him. What do I do with that? Divide that by 3 hours. Divide this by 3 hours. That gets rid of this guy, right? He's gone. That leaves me with R equals, what's 162 equals 54 what? Miles per hour. Does that make sense? The rate is 54 miles per hour. I used the formula that was handed to me to solve that. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's look at another one. Look on the bottom of page 143. This is a pretty fun one. Insects. You can estimate the temperature outside using the chirps of a cricket. Using the formula F equals n over 4 plus 37, where n is the number of times a cricket chirps in a minute, and F is the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit, estimate the temperature when a cricket chirps 100 times in a minute. In other words, the faster the cricket chirps, the colder it is. Does that make sense? So, is it colder? Yeah, colder.
Yeah, because they were working together.
Yeah. So, here's the formula. Listen, wouldn't this take a lot of research? Wouldn't this take a lot of time for you to figure out this formula? You'd have to go out there and go, okay, where's my thermometer? And I'll count. It would take forever. Somebody's done it for you. They've given you a formula. They've given you the map. They've done all the hard work for you. And the formula is F equals N over 4 plus 37. Make sense? Now, here's the deal. What does F stand for? What did they say? F is the temperature in Fahrenheit, and N is the number of chirps, right, in a minute. Now here's the question. It says, estimate the temperature when a cricket chirps 100 times in a minute. So we're watching. It says the number of chirps. N is the chirps in a minute. And F is the temperature. Okay. So then we don't know what the temperature is, but we do know how many chirps per minute. How many chirps? 100. So we're going to go F, we don't know that, equals 100. Instead of an N, we put in 100 over 4 plus 37. Is the variable happy? Yes, he is happy, but we don't have an answer yet. We need to simplify this over here. What is 100 divided by 4?
25.
25 plus 37?
62.
62. So Fahrenheit equals 62 degrees. So you can see where I think you're wrong, Jack. The more chirps, what? What if this is 200 chirps? The more chirps, that would be 200 divided by 4 is 50, would be 87. So the more chirps, the hotter it is.
Why would they chirp more? Because they're rubbing their legs together. Yeah, but maybe the nails are out longer.
Don't care what the reason is. You're thinking scientifically, and we're looking at it mathematically.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Here's the deal. What's the hard work? The hard work has been done for you. What's the hard work? The formula. All we have to do is plug our information into the formula that was been given to us and solve the question. Does that make sense? One last formula that I'm going to show you, and that is the perimeter formula of a rectangle. Now, here's the deal. If I was to do this for you right here and say, okay, this is 5 and 3 and 5 and 3, what would you do to find the perimeter of this object? What would you do? Like, forget formulas. What would you do? Add up what?
The numbers on the perimeter.
All the outside edge, right? It's the distance around. So you just go, you add it all up, which is true. 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3 would do it. Another way of writing the perimeter formula for a rectangle is for you to do this, is to say that we'll call this the length. This is the length, and this will be the width. And so you'd go, the perimeter, paying attention here, the perimeter equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Does that make sense? That's what you would have done. It's just now written in a little bit different way. Make sense? Okay. So then, if I give you just 2 sides of this thing, and I tell you that this is, what do they have? They have 18.5 and 12.5 feet. How would you find the perimeter of this? What would you do? You simply, what do you do when you have a formula of something? What would you do?
You solved it.
What's it called? No, you'd plug in the information into the formula. So what is 18.5? What is that? No, what is that? That's the length. So you're going to plug it into here. And what is the 12.5? That's the width. You're going to plug it into here. Does that make sense? So let's do that. P equals 2 times, notice I put it in parentheses, 2 times 18.5 plus 2 times 12.5. What is the variable happy?
No.
Yes, he is very happy. He's alone, but we don't have an answer yet. We need to solve this side of the equation, right? But the variable's happy. Agreed?
Yep.
What is 2 times 18.5? 37. Plus, what is 2 times 12.5? 25. 37 plus 25 is T equals 62. That would be the perimeter is 62 feet. If you don't put feet, I mark you wrong. Whenever it is something that you need to label, whenever we're talking about a story problem or a distance or a money, and you don't label it, I mark it wrong. I don't give you half credit. I don't give you a part. It's wrong. You label it. Got it? Got to label it. Guaranteed somebody doesn't label it. I guarantee it. What if they give you a question like this? What if they, oh, actually, this is pre-algebra. This is simple. Okay. I think you can do it. I think that this is not difficult. So we're going to give you your homework. Okay. Today's, okay, so it's page 145, 1 through 15. Let me look at this. 1 through 15. 1 through 15. We'll say even, that's fine.